Yeah, let me see if I have anything new for you on that. 'Cause I think it's been a couple of days since we have been asked that question. Okay. I don't have anything new. I know.
Fear not, Americans. Fear not. Because Karine Jean-Pierre has come out swinging again. She's knocking those balls out of there. Knocking them for six. All of those legitimate questions from those reporters, if you can call them that. The gaggle of racists and Russian bots who are tormenting her at every opportunity. You know, asking her questions on everything from Ukraine to baby formula. And she knows nothing about anything. Once again, Karine Jean-Pierre, like a matador in the bull ring. Yeah. Dodging one question after the other with the grace of a blind duck. Okay, so let's take a look at how Karine Jean-Pierre dealt with a few of yesterday's questions in the White House press briefing. It's worth a watch.
Specifics on what you want regarding access to juvenile records, red flag laws, and redefining which gun sellers now have to do expanded background checks.
Well, as you know, the text is now going to be written, so we're going to allow the negotiators to go through that process.
This is 1,000 monkeys working at 1,000 typewriters.
What we do believe and what the president has said is this is a historic agreement, and it's the most significant legislation that we have seen to reduce gun violence since more than 20 years. And so it's a bipartisan. The president is pleased to see this. This is a step forward. As we know, this is about saving lives. And so the president is going to wants to see Congress act. He wants to see this on his desk as quickly as possible, and that's going to be our focus as it relates to his involvement in any of this. His team continues to talk to Congress on a regular basis, as they have been this past several weeks, and we're going to continue talking to negotiators on the Hill, to congressional members and staff on the Hill, and we will continue to have those conversations. But the president wants to see this on his desk to sign as soon as possible.
I don't have it. I gave it to my staff, but I carry it with me in my pocket. Do I have that around anyone? Where's my staff? I gave it away anyway.
So the question was, have you got any specifics on, background checks, restrictions on gun sales and things like that? The answer, the president's looking forward to this happening. It's historic.
Chocolate chip.
Specific things that you would like, the White House would like to see.
I don't have any specifics on any
on anything, Karen. It's becoming somewhat of a trend in your answers, as we shall see.
Over the weekend, before the president left Los Angeles, he was asked whether he had decided to go to Saudi Arabia, and his answer was no, not yet. And there was a follow-up question, and then he said, that's the reason I'm going.
Are you forgetting what you said 2 minutes ago?
So can you settle it? Is he going? Is he not going? Just tell us.
I don't have anything to announce for you today.
You've got a president who doesn't know where he is. Let's just be honest, right?
Wait.
And then you've got the White House press secretary asked, is he going to Saudi Arabia after all? Because he doesn't seem to know. He probably doesn't. And she says, well, I don't want to speculate. I'm going to skip over the next couple of questions because they're about Saudi Arabia and a potential trip there. She doesn't confirm whether there is going to be a trip to Saudi Arabia. She doesn't confirm what they would talk about if there were one. It's pretty amazing. Watch the whole video if you want. It's on YouTube. Let's move on to the next topic, Afghanistan.
Nearly half of Afghans are starving or don't have enough food. Is the administration considering doing more to send direct aid to Afghanistan, not just the United Nations, even if that means recognizing the Taliban?
I don't have anything further on what else we might be doing as for AIDS, as aid to the people of Afghanistan. As you know, we have announced humanitarian aid that go directly to the people and not to the government. But I don't have anything further to share on that.
Half of the population of Afghanistan are starving to death, and that's kind of partly America's fault, and America have said that they're going to help the people of Afghanistan. Can you tell us how? No. Okay, so then there's a couple more questions about Saudi Arabia, which again she doesn't answer. Then in comes Peter Ducey talking about the economy for Fox News again. They're the only ones who seem to talk about that. And of course Peter Ducey thinks that the economy is going to shit, like I guess, you know, most people do outside of Silicon Valley.
Here we go with the fat cat bashing.
She doesn't think that that's the case. She thinks everything's fine, everyone's got loads of money in the bank, they're feeling great about that. So we've heard all of that stuff before. Then there's an interesting question that she does answer.
And quickly, is the president running for re-election?
He has first of all.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over. If you like what you see, help out. If not, vote for the other guy. Give me a look, though, okay?
The president, as you know, has been asked that question many times, and he has answered it. His answer has been pretty simple, which is, yes, he's running for re-election. I can't say more than that.
Joe Biden intends to run for re-election in 2024.
Come on, man. You know what I mean?
He turns 82 years of age in November 2024, when the next presidential elections will take place. He would be 86 at the end of his second term.
Jeff Isaacson, United Brotherhood of Carpenters, and Don Finn, IBW, and Robert Reiter, R-E-I-T-E-R, Reader. You know, if I can digress for just a second, last night I was on the television. I was on the telephone, you know. At any rate.
And just to follow up on MBS, I heard you mention the report, but does the president believe that MBS is responsible for Khashoggi's death? I didn't hear you sort of engage with that part of the question.
I mean, the president has talked about that. I've been asked about comments that he's made during the campaign. He stands by those comments. What I'm trying to say is that, you know, the president said this last week. He's not going to change his view on human rights.
Fascist, racist, sexist, fascist.
So I've skipped through quite a few questions there, which, you know, it's just the same thing over and over again. Her saying we don't have an answer to that for literally everything, no matter how softball or hardball the questions are. Then there's an interesting question here. Does Joe Biden believe that Mohammed bin Salman is responsible for the hacking to death of Turkish journalist Jamal Khashoggi? To which she responds, views on human rights, that they're not going to change. He believes humans have rights. Nothing will stop him believing that.
And he'll be quoting him right now, but as President of the United States, my job is to bring peace if I can, and that's what I'm going to try to do. And that's how he answered the question when he was asked.
Wait a minute!
I mean, this is a very specific question about what he believes.
Look, we put measures in place. We put out a report last year on that the serious nature of what happened, and we take that very, very seriously. The president has spoken to it himself, and you know, I'm going to leave his words as he has said himself. Leave his words stand. Okay.
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun, and the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap, and I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
When our president speaks, when Joe Biden speaks, he leaves nothing up for interpretation. He is concise, to the point, eloquent. If you don't understand where he stands on certain things, maybe it's your fault.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
What is the latest update the White House has received on the current infant formula situation across the country?
Yeah, let me see if I have anything new for you on that. 'Cause I think it's been a couple of days since we have been asked that question. Okay. I don't have anything new. I know we made some announcements last week. I just don't have them in front of me. But if you want to come back and we'll talk through the things that we have been able to do in the past, the most recent activities that we've done.
Ah, you idiots. That's it. If you want to get the real answers to the questions, you have to go backstage, you know. I'd love to film what goes on backstage.
It's okay, Karen. You are doing a wonderful job.
Orange man bad.
I bet they don't let Peter Ducey in, do they?
And a second question, so House Appropriations Chairwoman Rosa DeLauro sent a letter to the HHS Inspector General asking the FDA asking the Inspector General to investigate the FDA's recent policy to use enforcement discretion for certain importation of infant formula. So, but she expressed concerns that the rapid pace that they're making these approval decisions with only 9 full-time staff members. So is the President confident that the FDA is being able to make these decisions to make sure infant formula that is being imported is safe? And
so first, I haven't seen the letter, so that's number one, so can't really speak to the letter. If you're asking me if the President has confidence in the FDA, he does. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Great, so yeah, that's lunch.
So the best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.